back down, and the road to where we were is fading.
Hello everyone, I am Ben with the BTC Sessions. I'm here in Roshan Sands, Alberta, Canada. And this week, I'd like to take a look at a website put together by the name of somebody named Jameson Lopp. Now, Jameson Lopp is a developer. He put together a website called Statoshi. He is formerly from the team at BitGo and is now on the team at Casa. So Jameson has, in particular on one part of his website, put together what I think to be the best aggregation of Bitcoin knowledge that I have ever seen. It is extensive. It covers multiple facets of Bitcoin, including development, where to spend it, basics, just anything you can think of. And it's all in one neat, tidy place. So we're going to take a look. We're going to see some of the links that he has provided there. There's no way we can get to all of them, but if you want to be well-versed when it comes to Bitcoin, this is the place to go. So let's take a look at the site. All right, so here we are on Jameson Lopp's main site. This is lopp.net, L-O-P-P.net. So we're just going to go through some of what he has put together here. Now, I'm mostly focusing over here on the Bitcoin resources tab there, but just so you know, through the site, he does have a little rundown of who he is, some of the articles that he's written that are pretty in-depth regarding various topics. He's done lots of different presentations at various Bitcoin expos. My internet connection here is a little slow, so they're slow to load right now. But he's done lots of different presentations that are worth checking out, and he's also done many interviews on things like the Kaiser Report, on various podcasts. So definitely a lot of stuff here worth checking out. But I would like to focus on this section here called Bitcoin Resources, and I've opened a good number of tabs here to show you what some of this stuff is, just so you can kind of gain an appreciation for how much good material is sitting right here for free. So let's take a look. We've got a whole section on getting started. So explain Bitcoin like I'm 5, the Bitcoin white paper, a lot of different things for people that are just not even familiar with Bitcoin and how it works yet. First thing, I would check out the Bitcoin white paper. That's a good place to start. Even if you don't understand it, just the fact that you've looked through it, it will make sense the more you look into the details here. So definitely check out the white paper. It's not long. It's worth a read. You can get into the history of Bitcoin. So there's a lot of books and stuff like that in here. I've read The Age of Cryptocurrency. That's by Mike Casey and Paul Vigna. It's a very, very interesting read. It has a kind of a fun narrative to it. They tell some real life stories about how Bitcoin has affected some people. So definitely worth checking out. You can get it on Amazon here. Another one worth mentioning that I have not fully read. I got an early copy of it, but I'm going to reread when the full one comes out in end of April. But the Bitcoin Standard, this one is talking about moving forward how Bitcoin will be the, I guess, more or less the reserve currency of the world. Very interesting read, so worth checking out. Let's keep going with this. Down here, there are a few news sites that you can check out for current events, things like CoinDesk, CoinJournal, Cointelegraph. There's a lot of them here. So these are just websites that allow you to get the latest and greatest out of the crypto industry. We have a list of podcasts. Now, Let's Talk Bitcoin was one of the first podcasts that I really started listening to. Andreas Antonopoulos is on there. If you're not familiar with who he is, for sure check him out. But a good place to start is Let's Talk Bitcoin. In particular, the one that I listened to all the time was the actual Let's Talk Bitcoin podcast, and they've got some great shows. You can go way back. There's 360 episodes now at the time of making this video. Definitely worth a look. All right, let's keep it going. You can get lots of different statistics all over the place. So you can get various charts. Blockchain.info is a great place where you can get stats on the market price, on block sizes, on market capitalization, trade volume, just everything, mining information, network activity. There's a lot of stuff here and definitely worth checking out. Furthermore, you can go down. There are transaction fee estimators here. One that I use all the time is earn.com, and it gives you a good overview of what fee you can get away with paying in order to get your transaction through in the next block. And so this might look a little bit confusing at first, but once you go in and you actually take a look and have this explained to you, or go into the details about how to check it out, like they even break down here what fee you can use to get through the quickest. It does make a lot more sense once you get into that. Different block explorers, so you can look up a transaction, an individual address, or a transaction hash. You can just go here. BlockCypher is one of the ones provided. You can type in an address or paste in an address and look up specific transactions here. Another cool thing, so again, there's lots of block explorers here. I'm just kind of quickly tapping on some of the stuff here. Visualizations. These are cool sites that have basically interesting ways to visualize and see the blockchain in action. So one of the fun ones that I saw this on Digital Gold. There's a channel, a bunch of miners, and there's a bunch of miners, and they do regular kind of live streams, and BitBonkers is one of the ones they would put on. Yeah, sorry, there's a lot right there. But basically, it'll have the last block, and then each of these little balls is a transaction. You can click on the transaction and get the transaction info about that particular one. The bigger the ball, the bigger the transaction. But really, really fun, interesting site. Let's keep going down here. What else have we got here? So for mining, we've got a lot of different stuff. Again, learning about the history of mining, how it works, but you can also there's a mining hardware profitability calculator. So if you're looking to get into mining and you're like, well, I want to buy a rig, I don't know, with the cost and my electricity and all of that, I don't know when I'm going to break even. Well, here's an easy calculator for you. You can pick some of the latest rigs, and you can figure out, what's your hash rate, what's your hardware price, what's your hardware power, start date, delivery costs, all of that, and it'll let you know how much you're going to be making and when you will break even. So really useful if you want to get into mining. Okay, there's a ton of deep dive stuff here, really, really in-depth things to do with the protocol. Mastering Bitcoin is a book, again, by Andreas Antonopoulos that gets into some of the nitty-gritty there. So there's a lot here if you start to want to get into more of a technical a technical place and some more detailed information there. There are developer tools. So one in particular that I think is interesting is BTC Pay. So they did this as an open source alternative to BitPay, so a payment processor. And you can go over here to their GitHub and figure out how to get that running. And I think stuff like this is just so useful, and it's open source. It's fantastic. Okay, let's keep going down here. There's just so much. It's hard to get all of this. Lots of different security stuff here that you can get through. Choosing wallets. So he's got a list of wallets that are pretty solid right here, and you can even pick desktop, hardware, mobile, web. Lots of info right here. Let's keep going. How to run a node. So two things here. So one that I really like, Bitseed. So let's say you're a non-technical person, you just want to plug in and go and have a Bitcoin node running it kind of as a hobbyist, or I mean to link up a wallet to, then great, you can order a Bitseed. I have an older version of this, but basically it's just plug in and go and you're running a Bitcoin node. These things are fantastic. I definitely recommend you check them out. Now, if you want to get a little bit more technical here, you can also learn how to create your own Bitcoin node using a Raspberry Pi. So, I mean, this does require a little bit more technical knowledge, but yeah, it's a good little project to play around with. So, again, great resources. Okay, let's go back up to the top other side. Online courses. Now, this is interesting because it's always fun to see the path that people have taken as they've been learning about Bitcoin. And one of the coolest things I saw here, this Udemy course, free by the way, was how I first started. This was the very first thing I dove into learning about Bitcoin. And it's called Bitcoin, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love Crypto. And there's this whole course full of tons, just hours of stuff here. And it's incredible. And it's 6 hours of on-demand video, 2 hours. So there's a ton of stuff in here for free. And then of course, yeah, there's other courses here. But honestly, this one, solid. And it's free. It's free. It doesn't cost $15. It's free. There's enough free info out there that, you know, you can pay to learn, but you can also just do some digging. And I mean, this Jameson's website here is going to do wonders for you without having to pay a dime. Okay, let's keep going here. Lots of documentaries. Now, some of these, the links are broken because they may have been on YouTube at some point, but even if the links don't work here, they're worth checking out. So, for instance, one that I really liked was The Rise and Rise of Bitcoin. This one, I think you can get it a lot of different places, but yeah, you can rent it for $5. It's on iTunes. Yeah, it's all over the place. There's some other good ones there as well. Banking on Bitcoin, and what was the other one I liked? Oh, The End of Money as We Know It. I really like that one as well. Okay, let's keep going here. Lots of different presentations as well. So a lot of different, most of these from different conferences and spanning over the course of Bitcoin since inception. So, I mean, some of these are, 2011, so early on. But, like up until, say, the North American Bitcoin Conference in 2017, there's a ton of stuff here all put together, 17 different videos, and some of these are, 2.5 hours long, so definitely worth checking out. High quality blogs. I mean, there's so many here, but I was peeking in on BitMEX research. I got to interview Arthur Hayes, the CEO of BitMEX, when I was in Hong Kong. Really nice guy, and they've done some pretty interesting work here. Just so many different topics covered, and yeah, definitely worth checking out. All right. Buying Bitcoins. So there's a lot of different options here, but there's kind of an aggregation with the reviews of popular exchanges, and you can go down and see kind of how they've been rated, whether they're beginner friendly, which is nice to know. And yeah, you can kind of go through and see the pros and cons of all these different places to buy. All right. What else do we have here? Wow, there's just so many. So vendors accepting Bitcoin. So OpenBazaar is an interesting one. I did interview the CEO of OpenBazaar before. Airbit's merchant directory. There's a lot. Usebitcoins.info gives you a huge breakdown of just all these different places that you can use your Bitcoin. I mean, it's insane how much stuff is here. So this is a pretty good resource as well. And yeah, definitely check that out. Okay, what else? What else do we have? Okay, well, I've opened up a handful of other things here. So this is tradingview.com. So if you want to get into some deeper level technical analysis, if you're into that kind of thing, there's tons of people, and this is all related to cryptocurrency. So you can go down. Of course, there are other markets on tradingview.com, but the link will take you directly to the crypto spot that you want to get to. Okay, this is interesting. So Jameson has a little section here. So sorry, I just glossed over some of this. But anyways, real-time exchange data. There's tons of stuff there regarding taxes. And then this section I really like. So this is all about privacy. So how to remain private with your Bitcoin, because it is an open ledger, which means that data points can be collected. So how do you keep things private so people can't peer into your financials? So there's a lot of things here. One that I found interesting that I'm going to check out, I haven't looked at yet, is this, Anonymous Bitcoin, how to keep your Bitcoin all to yourself. So preventing people from peering in to how much money you have in cryptocurrency and Bitcoin in particular. And I like that the foreword is by Jeffrey Tucker because I really like a lot of his stuff. I definitely recommend you checking him out. Okay, let's keep going. The Lightning Network, there's a lot of resources now. Lightning Network is really starting to explode this year now that it is in beta. So yes, this is just an Explain It Like I'm 5 overview of the Bitcoin Lightning Network, but there are plenty more. There's an Explain It Like I'm 25. So there's a lot here if you're interested in that. Okay, what else? Oh, this is really interesting too. So this is all about Bitcoin forks, this section. Again, a few different links to go to here, but this one, if you have a particular address, you can paste it in and you can search and see all of the different forks and airdrops that have been allocated to that address. So maybe you're not sure how many different airdrops and forks have happened. You can just paste that in and it'll tell you exactly what you've got sitting in that address, which is quite the resource. All right. Oh yeah, careers. So all about different jobs that you could get in the industry. One thing that I've done, more so just as something to put on my wall, is this certification consortium. So you can go and you can get certified to be a Bitcoin professional, which I apparently now am. I have that sitting on my wall now. You can also get a certified Bitcoin expert. Yeah, so I mean, worth checking out if you want a fancy piece of paper on your wall. And then finally, crypto charity. Bitcoin is really known as well for its charitable members in the community, and so it's definitely worth looking into. Even though Bitcoin is dipped, everybody's made a fair amount of money this year. So if you're looking to give back a little bit, then maybe take a look into some of the options here. One that stood up to me was BitGive. So yeah, I mean, I know that I just quickly ran through all of that, but holy hell, I mean, can you imagine going through every single thing here and how well versed you would be in Bitcoin? Definitely worth spending time. Jameson, if you do watch this video, you are an absolute asset to the community, and I am so thankful to have found this. You've really done everybody a service, so thanks so much. And anybody else watching this, please go check this out. There's going to be something you find here that you didn't even realize was out there, no matter how well versed you are.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to hit like and subscribe, drop a tip if you're able to, and share this video. Also, if you'd like to help out the show in another way, hit up the link down below to grab yourself a Ledger Nano S or Ledger Blue. These are my go-to wallets when it comes to securing my cryptocurrency. I will see you guys next time on the BTC Sessions.
So try to fill them with your pictures of me.